Hello, happy Sunday, everybody. Second day of May, 2021. It's me, Bert Lee, coming at you with an hour to an hour and a half of songs. Happy to see I have some people already tuned in. That's always nice to know. And if you're here, say hello. If you care to announce yourself on chat, it's always nice to know who I'm playing for. It's a beautiful day outside right now, and I just spent the day inside practicing songs. That's what I do sometimes, even though it's beautiful out. She sang hymns out of tune, carried a yellow balloon. She traded her love for Spanish doubloon and spoke to the people who are. She lived in a sorcerer's room, pounded the table and brandished the broom. She turned 10,000 when she touched the moon and spoke to the people who are. Now I have a clock on my wall, keeps time, and that isn't all. Tells me how long she's been gone, away to the people who are. She lived in a sorcerer's room, pounded the table and brandished the broom. She turned 10,000 when she touched the moon and talked to the people who are. Rain came and scattered away the old antique caretaker's children that day. Later that evening she passed away, away to the people who are. She sang hymns out of tune, she sang hymns out of tune, she sang hymns out of tune. From the rare collection of good songs that I didn't write, songs you wish you'd had written. This is from my recently released album, Swimming in Falling Water. I'm going to make a little adjustment to my sound. Give me a second here. I don't want to overdo it like that. I just want to taste like that. Very nice. Alrighty. The days and weeks go slipping by. All the things we put off pile up. All the things we choose to do some other day, they can wait for Thursday. I had some chores to run today, household shopping bills to pay, to the dishes, clear the shelves, misery best kept to ourselves on Thursday. Buy some toothpaste, soap, and bread, just the ordinary life we've led. Make a list and get it done before it slips away, my son, it's Thursday. Then the clouds they opened over me, and the crowd it parted like the sea, sent me down an unfamiliar path. Seeing you I simply had to laugh. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way on Thursday. There's too much to hold inside. All the things we keep in build up, secrets that we choose to face some other time. They come to mind on Thursday. I had some calls to make today, obligations, prayers to pray. Clear the record and make amends, and try to make it all make sense on Thursday. Expectation, hopes, and dreads, where the worries in our hearts have led. Make a choice and change your ways before your chances slip away. It's Thursday. Then the clouds they opened over me, and the crowd it parted like the sea, sent me down an unfamiliar path. Seeing you I simply had to laugh. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way on Thursday. Na 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 na. Oh, it's Thursday. Na 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 na. Oh, it's Thursday. Na 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 na. Oh, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Na 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 na. Oh, it's Thursday. Na 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 na. Oh, it's Thursday. And of course it's not. And you know, I guess I'll dedicate this song to the year of COVID, in which we didn't know what day it was ever. That song is beautifully arranged and mixed by my friend Dan Simpson, who lives down in Asheville, North Carolina, and can be found on my website at bandcamp.com, bertlee.bandcamp.com. What do I feel like doing? I think I'll do a little bit of a traditional playing for you. Nice day today. Really, really nice day today. Alrighty, traditional. Mississippi John Hurt. Candyman, he's been and gone. Candyman, he's been and gone. Candyman, he's been and gone. And I would do anything in this God Almighty world to bring my Candyman home. Little red light, little green light. Little red light, little green light. Little red light, little green light. Don't you stop at the red, go with the green. Don't you mess with Mr. In Between. Run, fetch a pitcher, get your baby some beer. And run, fetch a pitcher, get your baby some beer. Run, fetch a pitcher, get your baby some beer. I'll do anything in this God Almighty world to bring my Candyman home. peppermint stick, a little brass band. Peppermint stick, a little brass band. Peppermint stick, a little brass band. How I wish I was down in New Orleans working in a candy stand. Candy man, salty dog. Candy man, oh salty dog. Candy man, salty dog. Oh, won't you let me be your candy man and you can be my salty dog. Now, run, fetch your pitcher, get your baby some beer, and run, fetch your pitcher, get your baby some beer. Run, fetch your pitcher, get your baby some beer. I'd do anything in this God Almighty world to bring my candy man home. Oh, run, fetch your pitcher, get your baby some beer. Run, fetch your pitcher, get your baby some beer. Run, fetch your pitcher, get your baby some beer. I would do anything in this God Almighty world to bring my candy man home. I would do anything in this God Almighty world to bring my candy man home. My grandpa was a grifter, a gambler and a heel. He snuck around from town to town and he dealt a dirty deal. He went out in the wild world to steal what he could steal. You know, he stole a fortune, but the money wasn't real. No, the money wasn't real. Funny how it is, you know now, the money wasn't real. He set out as a bandit, he came back empty-handed. He should have been a rich man, but the money wasn't real. Now the Pharaoh was a miser, his story has been told. He had 10,000 workers build a pyramid to hold his statues and his trappings, his caskets and his gold. You know he wanted to have everything, but all he got was old, 'cause none of it was real. Funny how it is, you know now, none of it was real. His monument so grand just got covered up by sand. Now he's just another mummy man, 'cause none of it was real. A poor man buys a loaf of bread and he shares it and it's gone. A rich man wrecks his Porsche and yet his wealth keeps rolling on. And the good things that you've said and done are nothing you can pawn. 'Cause when you're in the underclass you're always overdrawn, 'cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now, the money isn't real. You can follow all the rules made by idiots for fools, and you think you'll get your just reward, but you won't. You won't pick up a penny, oh, you might spare a dime. A dollar buys a pretty meager way to waste your time. A C-note gets you groceries, and a grand might buy a thrill. You might rake in a shitload and still not get your fill. I live in America, a country built on greed. Now I suppose that's not a bad thing if you just take what you need, but it seems everyone's afflicted by a hunger to exceed. Why should one man have a billion when there's a million mouths to feed? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now, the money isn't real. You can burn it, you can earn it, but in the end you'll learn that it all amounts to nothing. Now I bought me some insurance in case I pass away. I've heard that that could happen, and who am I to say? I might live forever, they'd never have to pay. Oh shit, who would be the loser then if it all turned out that way? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now, the money isn't real. You can spend it, you can lend it, but you'll find that in the end it all amounts to nothing. Yes, it's funny how it all amounts to nothing. So funny how it all amounts to nothing, 'cause the money isn't. The money isn't real. Sam, nice to see you, buddy. Nice to see you. Always fun to play for you. I feel like doing some traditional kinds of songs and some songs that are so totally in the public domain that no one can trouble me about it. The Dutchman's not the kind of man who keeps his thumb jammed in the dam that holds his dreams in. That's a secret only Margaret knows. When Amsterdam is golden in the morning, Margaret brings him breakfast, she believes him. He thinks that tulips bloom beneath the snow. He's mad as he can be. Margaret only sees that sometimes. Sometimes she sees her unborn children in his eyes. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man. Dear Margaret remembers that for me. The Dutchman still wears wooden shoes. His coat and cap are stitched with love that Margaret sews in them. Sometimes he thinks he's still in Rotterdam. He follows tugboats down canals and waves to them when he thinks he knows the captain, till Margaret comes to take him home again, through unforgiving streets that trip him though she holds his arm. Sometimes he thinks that he's alone and calls her name. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man. Dear Margaret remembers that for me. The winter winds the windmills round, she winds his muffler tighter, they sit in the kitchen. Some tea with whiskey keeps away the dew. He sees her for a moment, says her name, she makes the bed up singing some old love song. A song that Margaret learned when it was new. He sings a line or two and then they hum together in the night. The Dutchman falls asleep and Margaret blows the candle out. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man. Now dear Margaret remembers that for me. Pretty song, pretty sad lyrical song, Peter Michael Smith song. What'll it be? Yeah. A couple of weeks ago I got to play an Italian Zoom. I speak nary a word of Italian. I could say buongiorno, buonasera, buonasera, buonasera. I can say those things. I could say pasta fazool. But they wanted me to sing this song that I had written about Bob Dylan, because it was the Italian Institute that studies Bob Dylan. And I bet you didn't know such a thing exists And I took the thing on thinking, well, maybe this is my one and only chance to actually get this song or any of my songs into the master's ears. So I went ahead and did it, and it was fun. It was really, really nice. I sat there befuddled and dazed as they all spoke for Italian for an hour and a half before I went on, and then I went on, and they looked at me with fondness in their eyes. I think they were actually listening to me. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've woven them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Gonna build a big machine, a mechanical collage. Gonna build it in the workshop in the back of my garage. It's gonna be a wild contraption made of cogs and wheels and gears and discarded bits of everything I've gathered through the years. And when it gets to rolling, it's gonna make an awesome sound, like thunder in the mountains or an earthquake underground. And when I'm done, they're gonna ask me, Bob, just what does that thing do? And I will turn around and ask them, man, well, what's it do for you? Gonna write a crazy song, I'm not sure what it's gonna mean. Might be plain, might be a puzzle, might be something in between. Gonna populate the verses with people from my dreams. Might point to something deep, or maybe just be what it seems. And when I get to singing it, it's gonna make an awful noise. But I really can't be bothered by the folks my voice annoys. When I'm done, they're gonna beg me, please explain that thing to me. And I will turn around and tell them, man, it's nothing you can't see. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs. I'm gonna write an epic novel, a mountain range of prose. Might turn the tide of history or turn all my friends to foes. It's gonna be a wild concoction made of thoughts and worlds and prayers. There might be nothing underneath when you peel away the layers. Oh, if I fail in my ambition, I'm gonna put away my pen, put on ordinary clothing, go and walk the world of men. Gonna look in all their faces at the stories in their eyes, in the hopes that all the misery I see there makes me wise. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their back, who got waylaid in the city by the beatniks and the clowns, and the grief that always comes to you from mixing ups and downs, who tried his hand at Jesus and then suffered a relapse, and had to rebuild his ideas from all these bits and scraps. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've stolen them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I will give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Can be found on my album at Bandcamp, called, appropriately enough, Salt for Silver. actually came up with that name long before I wrote the song. I wrote the song and then I added the name to it because I discarded it. It was originally supposed to be the name of a band, a very short-lived band I was in with Braxton Hicks and James Yanks. And we got to do a few shows, but it's hard to keep a band together in New York. Even before COVID, things were rough for us. Mighty rough. Mighty tough. You have to have nerves of steel, friends. Nerves of steel, I say. This is also from Swimming in Falling Water, my recently released album. Produced, co-produced, engineered, and mastered by the wonderful Dan Simpson. And if you go online to bandcamp.bertlee.com and you go to Swimming in Falling Water and have a listen, you'll hear how beautiful these arrangements are and how wonderfully Dan mixed them and mastered them. And I'm so grateful to him for that. After all this time, do I have to tell you I'm not guilty of the crimes you accuse me of? What do I have to do to win back your love? If I had to do it all again, would I even be just one whit wiser? Oh, probably not. You have to live with what you've got. My hands are empty now, and I'm really not too sure just how we'll ever make amends. Is this the way our story ends? Lovers once, now barely friends. If you ask me why, I guess I'd have to try some awkward alibi you disabuse me of. What do I have to do to win back your love? My eyes are open wide, and still I cannot see inside your garden space. If you won't turn to face me, if I had to do it all again, would I even be just one whit wiser? Oh, probably not. What do I have to do to win back your love? Why did I have to go and put myself above you? Darling, what do I have to do to win back your love? Oh, why did I have to go and put myself above you, darling? Win back your love. Now this one goes out to my friend Sam Bryan. I know he likes this particular tune. This particular tune belongs to a book I wrote called The Dead Man's Coat. I don't have a copy of it to wave around in your face right now, but it's the first novel I wrote in a long time. It's the first one I actually managed to publish. God bless publishing on demand. And people seem to like that book, and it's the story of my grandfather, who I reference in a number of my songs in the last 10 years, one way or another. This is a direct reference to him escaping from Ireland as a young boy and coming to America to discover the chaos that was America before the Civil War and during the Civil War, and then for the few decades after that. There's more to the story of the title, but I'll save that for some other time. It's a funny story. my shoes in Dublin. I borrowed a dead man's coat. I left the rest behind me and I stowed on to a boat. I left it all behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. They say I killed my father, but I only stole his name. He was murdered by a bottle, oh, but I'll gladly share the blame. Murdered by a bottle, and maybe death has set him free. Now if I could only lose this ghost that hides inside of me. His ghost is in my mirror. His ghost is in my mind. Living underneath my skin, and it won't be left behind. I tried my best to kill it, oh, but the damn thing never dies. It hangs so hard above me with whiskey in its eyes. Here is my confession, for whatever it is worth. I'm haunted by my father, just like every man on earth. Haunted by my father, like every ordinary Jake. It hangs so dark above me, like a storm about to break. I'm sailing to America to find what might be found. I'll throw these memories overboard, and I'll pray that they stay drowned. Throw this baggage overboard to be swallowed by the sea. Now if I could only lose this ghost that hides inside of me. I left my shoes in Dublin, borrowed a dead man's coat. I left it all behind me and I stowed on to a boat. I left the rest behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come to find me, may they pardon me my crime. There you go, Dead Man's Coat. Story of my grandfather coming to America from Ireland before the Civil War. It's a good book. You should try it out. Go to Amazon. Upstairs neighbors decided to move furniture. That's what they're going to do. Oh, I don't think you can hear it at home. Okay. I guess that was a pretty loud song. I'm not going to sing any quiet ones for a while, so that's life. This is a tune back from the days that I played in the Central Park Sheiks and Eastern Kings of Western Swing. I joined when I was sort of folky, and they kind of turned me into an everything songwriter. They taught me how to play jazz chords. maybe listen to classic country music, George Jones, that kind of thing. And out of the country music came this tune, which never, unfortunately, got recorded. Blackbird sitting on a fence post, laughing like he knows some kind of joke. I fail to see what's so funny. My whole world just went up in smoke. Won't you let me in on the joke? Scarecrow dancing in a cornfield, dancing while the wind blows him around. Sometimes I feel like that scarecrow, watching over my dry patch of ground, while the wind just blows me around. There's a strange kind of music in the branches of the trees, like a song on a broken guitar. And the crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar. They sing a broke-down honky-tonk waltz, a broke-down honky-tonk waltz. They sing a broke-down honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird flies over to the Scarecrow. It doesn't scare him a bit, just sits on his shoulder to mock him, and then laughs at his own senseless wit. That Scarecrow doesn't scare him a bit. Blackbird, fly away from my shoulder. Blues, fly away from my heart. I've had your shadow upon me, oh little darling, since we've been apart. Ah, blues, fly away from my heart. There's a strange melody that hangs in the breeze, like a calliope gone out of tune. Those crows sing a song that's all busted and wrong by the cold light of the old crooked moon. They sing a broke-down honky-tonk waltz, a broke-down honky-tonk waltz, a broke-down honky-tonk waltz. The honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird and the Scarecrow. Well, I hope you're enjoying yourself. What'll it be? Put some jelly in my shoe here. While I'm back visiting the Sheiky days, here's a tune that was written as part of the Sheik's swing jazz repertoire. We were a country jazz band, which is an idiom that was kind of lost at the time, but we helped revive it in the late 70s and up into the 80s. And then Sleep at the Wheel is the famous people that do that in modern times. And we actually got to open for them once, which was really a pleasure. This was the very first attempt I had at writing a jazz kind of song. I'm a shipwrecked man in a sea of trouble, watching the rain make crazy puzzles on the window pane. In a sea of rain, how do you stay dry? When I'm down, I go put on a record, even if I've heard that song too many times before. I play it one time, boy, it still makes me cry. She's gone, she left no note, no number to call. gone, and lately I ain't seen her at all again, and all I do is watch the rain. She's gone, she left no note, no number to call. She's gone, and lately I ain't seen her at all again, and all I do is watch the rain. And if I were a bird, I'd fly above this rain cloud. Where the sun is shining, I'd be flying high. At least I'd try, oh, if I were a bird, but I ain't. If you ain't heard, I'm just a shipwrecked man in a sea of trouble, watching the rain make crazy puzzles on the window pane. A sea of rain, how do you stay dry? And this is a more recently composed jazz song, if you will. The past is lost, the future is never. Oh, but now is forever. All of those golden moments that were your treasure have fallen away like dreams, now is forever. The wheels of days and years are constantly spinning. The ending was written before the very beginning. The past is lost, the future is never. Oh, but now is forever. The wheels of days and years are constantly spinning. The ending was written before the very beginning. The past is lost, the future is never. Oh, but now is forever. There you go. It's sort of a cosmic bossa nova, if you will. Ooh, hot and sweaty in our apartment today. It's the first day it's been that hot in here. Smelling a little bit of turpentine because the landlord is doing crazy stuff upstairs, preserving mummies or something. I don't know if he used turpentine for that, but he's doing strange things. And it's a quiet night here in Dry Gulch. Quiet night in Dry Gulch. Let me get back to some of the tunes from Salt for Silver. This is a song of mine that was inspired by a lonely little plastic bag They got trapped in the branches of a tree across from our apartment and hung in those branches for nearly, I would say, 4 years. And about 2 years ago, I got tired of looking at it without doing anything about it. No, I did not climb the tree. I would not try to do such a thing at this fragile age. But I wrote a song inspired by it. We've noticed this year that the plastic bag is gone. I'm sure it's not gone away completely. That's the problem with plastic bags. It's probably making its way down the street here till it gets to the harbor and goes into the ocean. Here's to people deciding to start using hemp and bamboo fiber for all of this kind of temporary building and bagging material, because those things are biodegradable and twice as good as plastic anyway, which unfortunately means that the oil and gas companies have to get out of the way. So a plastic bag blows down the street, gets tangled in a tree. Chances are another breeze will come to break it free and blow it down the alley through the back lots to the beach, where a child may try to catch it, but it sails right past her reach. It floats out on the ocean and it settles on the tide. A passing whale may swallow it and it gets lodged inside. Run, Jenny, run, come look what's washed up in the sand. Come and see the gentle giant that's been slain by unknown hands. It's not your fault and it's not mine. It didn't happen by design. It makes us sad, it makes no sense. It's only unintended consequence. An old man has a cardboard shack in a weed-choked vacant lot. He's long since quit regretting all the things he hasn't got. He seeks no help from strangers, he lives as best he can. People say he's homeless, but I say he's just a man. He comes down to my street and lays a blanket on the ground. He makes a meager livelihood from the things that he has found. He might accept a quarter, he'll settle for a dime. Till the police come and stop him, they say that that's a crime. It's not your fault, and it's not mine. It didn't happen by design. It makes us sad, it makes no sense. It's only unintended consequence. The hills have caught on fire since the summer brought us drought. The rangers fight it day and night, but they can't put it out. The people here are used to it, it happens every year. When a thing becomes familiar, we lose all sense of fear. The weather lady tells us that there's not much chance for rain. The scientists predicted this, and the Christians all are praying. But as for me, I'll find a quiet hill to watch it from. Practice my acceptance of the things that surely come. It's not my fault and it's not yours. Sometimes it's parched, sometimes it's pours. There's no blame here to dispense. It's only unintended consequence. It's not their fault and it's not ours. We'll shift the blame to higher powers. Let's just say it was a long chain of events that led to unintended consequence. Unintended consequence. I'm just going to play till 8 tonight, so thank you, my faithful listeners, for being here. And I think I'll pitch one of my shows in the middle of coming week, like a Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday night, something a little different, and see how that goes. It's always good to change things up just a touch. So I'm just going to do a couple of more tunes for you here. What will it be? Alrighty. This is another tune, not directly written before or during the writing of my book, Dead Man's Coat. But the picture I paint in it of a prospector wandering the desert and thinking there's got to be a better way to make money than this, sort of informed a couple of characters, and one particular character called Mr. Crane in Dead Man's Coat, and to the gold rush. Rattlesnake waits in the shadow of a rock. Field mouse hides from the eyes of a hawk. Cactus stands like a statue of a man. Him and me and my horse named Dan on a dusty road. Indian watching from a switchback ridge. Ghost riders running up a cloudy bridge. Twilight stealing in a corner of the sky. Riding along thinking by and by I'll put down my load. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. There's a ghost town down where the creek ran dry. Buzzards circle in the hard blue sky. Dusty old bar, empty bottles on the shelf. Piano in a corner, it plays itself. It's a spooky sound. I hitched my horse to an old fence rail, fetched up water in a leaky pail. Gonna get out of town before the daylight fails. I don't wanna stick around. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Jackrabbit runs from the scattering stones. Blackbird cries to rattle your bones. Cow skull laying by a watering hole. Don't think there, you might lose your soul in the burning sun. I left my home and I can't go back. Wildflower growing in a wagon wheel track. Dry wind coming down from the hills, looking for a place a waterfall spills when the day is done. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of a shady tree. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. And so it is, and so it goes. One more song. I'm out of here for the night. Thank you for attending. Love you all so very, very much. Keeps me sane. Hope it makes you happy. The bellhop, he don't jump to do the chores. The elevator man's getting drunk between the floors at the Blue Hotel. At the Blue Hotel. Stay there overnight, they are bound to treat us right. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. The upstairs maid's got something going on the side. The house dick, he's been known to take a bribe at the Blue Hotel. You can bring along your aunt, meet me by the potted plant in the lobby of the Blue Hotel. You step down to dine in our luxurious lounge, you'll get the finest meal that the house can crouch. The chef is deaf, hear the waitress yell in the kitchen of the Blue Hotel. The house band plays an anonymous bop. They play Savoy and the Bunny Hop. Busboys in the back room dancing with a mop in the foyer. Ring that bell if you want to call the clerk. Knock on the desk if the bell don't work at the Blue. Stay there overnight, they are bound to treat us right. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. And now the desk clerk's name is Grit Pipe Thin, and he checks you out as he checks you in. He writes your name with a pen on a chain. As he does this thing, you check out the terrain. You see Slippery Sylvester and his sinister mob hanging out in the shadows that lurk in the hall. The eyeballs are moving in a portrait in the wall in the foyer. Oh, way up in the corner by the dusty curtain lining, there's a fat black spider dining. That picture isn't nice. There are poker playing mice behind the baseboards of the Blue Hotel. Ring that bell if you want to call the clerk. Knock on the desk if the bell don't work at the Blue Hotel. Stay there overnight, they are bound to treat us right. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. You can bring along your aunt, meet me by the potted plant in the lobby of the Blue Hotel. Don't steal the ashtrays. Thank you all. Good night to you. Good night to you all. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. And I'll see you next time around. That's all there is to that. So, ending the live stream